In this video we're going to be learning about ordering decimal numbers. This week we've been learning about decimal numbers, numbers which have tenths and hundredths. But what if we want to put these in order? How do we know which ones are bigger? So let's just have a little look, shall we? I'm going to write down 0.1 and 0.7. If we look in our tenths column, we can easily see that there are more tenths in 0.7 than in 0.1. But it gets a little bit harder when we have numbers in the hundredths column as well. The next example we have is we've got 0.01 and we've got 0.1. Which one is bigger? Well, let's have a look at our tenths column first. There are no tenths in 0.01 and 100. We know that tenths are bigger than hundredths because when we have tenths we're dividing a whole number by 10, and when we have hundredths we've divided it into 100. So we can tell that 0.1 is the bigger number, firstly because it has no hundredths, but it has more tenths than the other number. But what if the numbers have the same amount of tenths? So for example, if I had 0.14 and 0.18, how would I know here? Because both numbers have the same amount of tenths. Now I would look at the hundredths column. I can tell that 8 is a bigger number than 4, so 0.18 is the bigger number. Now I've got a few decimal numbers that I need to order from smallest to biggest. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to look in my ones column. Okay, I can see 3 numbers have 0 in the ones column, and 1 number has a 1 in the 1 column. So I know that 1 is going to be one of the biggest numbers. So let's look in the tenths column now. I've got some zeros and some ones. So I know that this one is going to be the smallest number because it's got 0 tens. And then I look in the hundredths column and I've got 100th. So I know that this number is the smallest number. So let's cross that out now. Now the next one. Let's have a look at the tenths column again, because we've got 0.1 and 0.1, but this one has an extra hundredth, which must mean it is slightly bigger than this number. Because if you think about it being broken up into 100, we could change this to 0.10, and it looks a bit like 10 and 11. So 0.1 or 0.10 is the next smallest number. Then after that we have 0.11 as our next biggest number, because it has 1/10 and 1/100th. We can cross that one out. And finally, we can say that 1.01 is our biggest number, mainly because it has a 1 in the ones or units column, but it has no tenths and 100ths. But it's the whole number at the front here that makes it, and it tells us that it is the biggest number. So your homework task this week is to write decimal numbers from the smallest one, looking at your units, your tenths and your hundreds, all the way to the biggest ones. If you have any questions, just come and see me.